Seismologist John Ristau, who joins us from Wellington in New Zealand. Good to have you on the programme. What more do you know and can we expect from a 7.1 earthquake right now?
So this earthquake, yes, as you said, was a magnitude 7.1 earthquake. It was what we would call a fairly shallow earthquake. It was around 25 kilometers deep. And so this earthquake, one that's this large and this shallow, it probably has caused quite a bit of damage, especially to any kind of brick and masonry type structures. So it could, it's likely that the damage has been widespread. And the other thing to take into account with earthquakes of this magnitude and being quite shallow is that they will probably result in a number of aftershocks, including, some quite sizable aftershocks, maybe magnitude 6 or even larger.
And given that the aftershocks magnitude 6, as you're saying, what should be the priorities for people in the area and also for authorities right now?
Well, I guess I don't want to speak too much, as to give advice, on what authorities should do or anything like that. But yes, people need to be aware that that any structures that have experienced very strong shaking from the main shock could actually now be weakened, and aftershocks, any sizable aftershocks or even anything above like 5 or 5.5 or larger could actually cause a lot more damage than they might normally cause because structures have been weakened. So people need to be aware of that and probably follow the advice of any local authorities, to drop, cover, and hold during an earthquake, and stay away from any buildings where any debris could fall off the sides of them.
Indeed, and John, the Philippines is no stranger to earthquakes. It sits on what's called the Ring of Fire in the Pacific. So what more can you tell us about the area it's situated in and how this earthquake compares to other earthquakes it's experienced in the past?
Yes. Like I said, the Philippines is a very very seismically active country. Earthquakes of this size are no stranger to the Philippines, unfortunately. The Philippines it's a very complex, very tectonically complex area. So in this particular part of the Philippines, you have the Philippine Sea Plate, and then you have what's called the Sunda Plate, which is pushing or subducting beneath the Philippine Plate, and this earthquake occurred kind of up here in the Philippine Plate, not quite right on the boundary, it doesn't seem, where you get the world's largest size of earthquakes. But this is unfortunately the Philippines does get earthquakes of this size on a fairly regular basis.
And does that mean the country is even better prepared due to the frequency, would you say?
Yes, that does help if people are used to earthquakes, are used to feeling strong shaking. Then people typically know what to do. They don't panic too much. They know first to drop, cover, and hold until the strong shaking has stopped, and then once it's safe to do so, to evacuate buildings. You can see some of the footage that you're showing is people standing around on the streets, which is the best thing to do. Get out of any weakened buildings and wait for further instructions from local authorities.
And John, I'm asking you this from a country and a city that has also experienced earthquakes here in Turkey and, of course, Istanbul. John Ristau, thank you so much for speaking to us today. Seismologist joining us there from Wellington in New Zealand. Appreciate your time and expertise.